Hello Flichums and welcome to the Tiger 1, which in a lot of cases is the reason why people play Blitz in the first place, because if you know no tank, you might still know this one. Let's have a look at the Tiger, which is on its way to the E100. Is this a good beginner tank? Is this a good line to start with? Let's have a look. Let's first of all have a look at the consumables, provisions, ammo. Very standard here, nothing special. So let's have a look at the stats, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as you can see already, very good DPM at 2,400, where most of the other tier 7s have around 2,000 or 1,900 only, so that is very good right there. The gun is almost identical to the Tiger P, while the Tiger P is, well, slower, worse armored, and has 1 degree less gun depression and slightly worse dispersion. So the Tiger 1 is the better between the Tiger and the Tiger P. And as you can see, the gun is very, very good as well, and the mobility does somewhat hold up a bit. It's not great. The yaw is faster, the MX is faster, the IS is faster. However, it does somewhat hold itself in there. It's not that slow. The Tiger P does lose out quite a lot there. However, the Tiger 1's traverse speed is excellent, which you'll probably need because, obviously, because of the flat front armor, you're going to have to angle this thing quite a bit. How's the armor on this tank? Well, very flat. There are a couple of angled spots, but for the most part, at the front, it is very flat, which means you're going to have to wiggle this thing back and forth to try and bounce anything, because 200 millimeters, most shots are going to go straight through. Turret is going to be pretty strong, however, the shots can still go through anyway. And just like the side of the turret, shots can go through as well. You have a cupola, 7 degrees of gun depression. It's not that bad. However, obviously, you can somewhat still be penned, so ideally you want to keep this thing moving, but you have solid enough mobility to do that. Side scraping is going to work somewhat well if you do it right, at the right angle. Obviously, if you over-angle it, it goes very weak, very quickly, so you ideally want to have it a very, very sharp angle right here, and also watch out that you don't get shot here. And the ideal way to angle it is basically gun over the track wheel and then wiggle it back and forth. That way you can essentially get the most out of the front, while also keeping the side somewhat well protected and well angled. Other than that, you're not really having a tank that is good around the armor, and it is more about the gun of the vehicle. That is very important here. Here we go with the Tiger, and it's actually not too bad, because this map you can go to the middle and then shoot with your 7 degrees of gun depression. Shoot about everything, because, well, I know, well, how not. It's also a tier 6 game, so no tier 8s to bother with. Some tier 6s are going to not pen this thing at all if you angle it properly. So let's now have a look at what we can find, obviously, because that would be very nice. Hello? No? No one here? They're all afraid of the mighty Tiger and they're running away because they're scared. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anyone here, which means I'm just going to peek forward and take a couple of shots at the M4 there. Seems to really be absolutely empty over there. Obviously, I have not been shot from there yet, so I don't quite know. But it seems to be all of them up there. Given also the VK is up there as well, it's very likely that they're all up there. Okay, that's interesting. Now, let's say... Okay, there's no one here, basically. So that's interesting. And now, T-43. We will be able to ideally shoot him through there if I reverse further. Or I will be able to shoot this VK if I peek between. The train's there. And we got a camping tank destroyer right back there. And now we can shoot him. There we go. Beautiful. Hello. Do you not know I'm here? Hello, T-43. How you doing? Oh, why are you running away? What are you doing, honey? What are you doing with yourself? Now, ideally, this vehicle is a good beginner tank because it just has the armor. It has a good gun. It's pretty decently accurate. As you can see, he's not going to have a great time penning the front here because you still do have that 190 millimeters on the upper plate. So it will be somewhat decent enough to hold back a couple of shots, especially from tier 6s and some tier 7s as well. So that is definitely good, and if you are a beginner in this game, then this is a good line, because the E100 as well is a nice tank to start off with as a tier 10. So I can only recommend it, really, because like 2-3 years ago, this was absolutely horrible to start with, and there was an absolute insane amount of bad Tiger players. I mean, there still is a bad amount, absolutely insane amount of bad Tiger players. However, now the Tiger is a lot more competitive and a lot more playable, so it's gotten better, pretty much. Now, let's see whether we can clean up here and get some extra damage. That would obviously be very nice. He's trying to peek around, however, the traverse speed of this thing is definitely solid enough to be able to turn around and fight on the other side as well. Beautiful. Now, 45 TP, he's going to peek up. He's going to have a not great time. He hits the turret, I believe. And there we go. And that only leaves a Shire that has an autoloader. So I'm going to have to be careful of that because he can, if he hurls, clip me. But, let's see. We're going to push him anyway. We can't shoot HE at this thing. The HE rounds of the Tiger aren't the greatest. However, they're definitely workable at best. So, let's see. There he is. There's one shot. There's two. And he's not going to roll high enough. Actually, he's not even going to pen the third one. There we go. Now, obviously, what we don't want to do is, well, die when he reloads. And he's going to run away, which is great because he's running right into the T-25 over there. And there he is, running away. And now all I'm going to have to do is not get penned twice. He already wasted one shell, which means I don't even have to do anything. And that's what you get when you run into 3 tank destroyers. You die. However, as you can see, even if you play it like a complete muppet, like I just did there, it is still a very solid tank that can bring you very, very good results. So, if this is the reason why you started playing Blitz, it now is a good one. Alright, game number 2. It is a tier 6 game again. Now, in a tier 8 game, you're going to struggle a bit more. A lot of tier 8s, pretty much any tier 8 is going to go straight through this tank, unless you get very lucky with the angles on the front here. This plate, stuff like that, or whether you over-angle, things like that. Turret as well can be a very good spot to bounce shots off. But if you're in a tier 6 match, the armor is going to be very effective, as you saw in the last game as well. Now, what is unfortunately very ineffective is bad medium tank players. You never want to have that, because a medium tank is there to take space. A medium tank is there to control the map, and if you don't control the map, you're most likely not going to be able to control the win. However, if you have bad medium tank or light tank players, then you're going to have a lot harder time to do that. A bad heavy tank player is easier to buff out, because obviously the heavy tank itself is going to stay alive for longer. You're going to have the advantage of the armor, so the guy's going to somewhat live for a while and be useful. However, if you have bad medium or light tank players, you're not going to have a great time, especially if the enemy's light and medium tank players are very good. Now, Challenger, he doesn't have a camo, so that is good. I'm going to reverse out of there, obviously, because I see the Tiger is pushing, and I don't want to really get into there. Unfortunately, again, our T-71 and the Dracula don't know how to play, so it is going to be somewhat tricky to convert this. And ideally, we want to fight off this Tiger. We have some backup there in the form of the KD2, which is very nice. However, obviously, the Cromwell is going to shoot me in the back as well. I'm going to use APCR here to make sure that it pens, because I need the same amount of shots anyway. So I want to be able to take him out very quickly there. Okay, Challenger got himself stuck where he shouldn't have been. And the T-71 and the Dracula actually do something, which is very nice to see. And now, all we're going to have to do really is clean up. Let's see what is going to be possible. A couple of T-6s left here. And that is not much to do. Gun 2,400 DPM is great for a situation like this. You can just absolutely mow down the enemy, which is lovely. Now, let's see. Where's my damage? I'm just going to peek out sideways. I'm not really trying to angle the tank or play around the armor, because no new player would anyways. So, just to demonstrate how a new player would play this tank. And as you can see, the gun works beautifully anyway. So even if you have no idea who to shoot at and where to shoot, it is still gonna work just about fine. And that's the beauty of it. It is a very good tank now, a very nice tier 7 to start with. And I can definitely recommend it if you're a new player, or even if you aren't a new player and you don't have the E100 yet. The E100 is somewhat painful, however the Tiger one is definitely amazing tank.